Let's get after it here. We did Nebraska. We've done Oklahoma. We did Colorado. Let's talk about Tennessee here. So Tennessee, I think, is fascinating. Their over-under win total is 8.5. The Nico era has begun in Knoxville. It's Nico time, baby. Something we talk about a lot on this show. Okay, I see the live chat saying sip of caffeine. No sip of caffeine, but I will ask you, if you're watching right now, live, go ahead, find that subscribe button. It helps us do more of what you want to see. Okay, again, college football, less than 24 days away. When you're watching this, more than likely, 24, less than 24, dial in with us, all right? Subscribe to the channel. If you're listening on podcast, subscribe to the podcast feed. We need everybody. We need everybody dialed in for us here, all right, to make this whole thing go. So we appreciate you for that. All right. So back to what I was saying. The over-under win total for Tennessee is 8.5 wins. Tennessee fans are like, hey, we're thinking way more than that in 2024. I respect it. What's in-house? Nico Iamaleava. I would say arguably the most anticipated quarterback since Tim Tebow when he first got the keys to Florida's offense. Like, I think that's the kind of hype and pressure on a guy like Nico. The good news, if you're a Tennessee fan, I think he's built for it. Like, there was a clip going around social media yesterday where Nico says, yeah, I like playing away games better. I like the juice. I'm like, this guy's out of his mind. This guy's a little bit psychotic in the best way possible. So Nico Iamaleava being wired that way, I'm all about it. It's a good vibe for Tennessee fans. The other part of this, and Jesse Simonton, national columnist for us here at On3, has been pounding this drum for a minute now. The 2022 defense at Tennessee left something to be desired with that elite offense. That's not what you have here in 2024. Some new pieces in the secondary, absolutely, but you got James Pierce, a top 15 pick, if not a top 10 pick, coming off the edge for you out there in Knoxville. A lot more depth up front than you've had in a long time. This is a defense now that's going to give you more than a chance. Like, you can lean on this defense. You don't have to score every single possession if you're Tennessee. You'd like it, but you don't need it. The quantity of playmakers, too. We say it a lot on this show, man. I keep referring back to things we've said previously on the show, but it feels like the appropriate time before we break down every single game for Tennessee. They got a lot more in-house than they did previously. Like, Squirrel White last year was your guy. Besides that, Brew McCoy was hurt. Dante Thornton was hurt. It was also his first year in the system. Chris Brazzell transferred from Tulane to Tennessee. We got to see him out there during spring practice, y'all. 2 words: catch radius. Okay, he can climb the ladder and go get it for you. So you pair him with Squirrel White, with the young freshman phenom Mike Matthews, Brew McCoy back healthy. Love the tight end room. Like, Nico Iamaleava now is going to have a chance to distribute the football to several dudes that can make plays for you. This is Josh Heupel's Tennessee. Every single thing on this roster, the way they do things, the culture, the quarterback, the system, everything now in Knoxville, Josh Heupel can sign his name next to and say, yep, that's us. There's no more, the previous staff, that doesn't exist anymore. This is Josh Heupel's Tennessee. So what do they do in 2024 from a wins-loss perspective? We're going to call our shot right now and predict it. First game of the year, Chattanooga, Dub City. If it's not, we got problems. You have NC State in Charlotte. Neutral site game. Neutral site's probably in air quotes there, but with it being in Charlotte, you imagine NC State will travel well. This is the game now where you really got to build some confidence. Like, this is going to be an early test for this team. It's going to be the best test, obviously, to this point in the year for Nico. Like, we gotta kind of figure it out here, get in rhythm. If we know anything about NC State, they play good defense. They are the same every year. It doesn't matter who they lost. They play good defense. I think you do win that game, but I think it's a bit of a battle. Now, here's the one where it's like, all right, who are we? You go to Oklahoma. I believe College Game Day will be there. That's just my gut. This has to be the game where, if you're Nico, you grow up in front of everybody's eyes. Like, this is the game where you say, all right, he has arrived. This is the reason why we were so excited about him for the last 2 years, really, since he committed. I think that he ends up having a coming out party. I think it's back and forth. I think Oklahoma will absolutely put up a tremendous fight, but I do think that Tennessee wins that football game, and then Tennessee heads into the bye undefeated. Coming out of the bye, you got to go to Arkansas. Tricky place to play. Arkansas is going to be scrappy, fighting for their lives. I think you win that game, and then you play Florida. If you're a Tennessee fan, you're like, thank the Lord this one's in Neyland and not in the swamp. Might just be the way things fall this year for you, where you get a couple of breaks. Florida will be the same thing as Arkansas in the sense that they are going to be scrappy as heck. Everyone's talking about Billy Napier and the hot seat and this and that. I'm just telling you now, that roster, a lot better than folks would like to believe. A lot better than folks want to give credit for. However, I do think you end up winning that football game. At that point, momentum is rolling. Now, then you play Alabama. This was the game in 2022 where you threw the goalpost in the river. Vibes were high. I don't know that you win this football game. I'm going to pick them to lose this one. But the storylines going into it are going to be fascinating. Like, if Tennessee is rolling at that level, is Alabama able to match them coming into that game? Is Alabama operating at the same clip? You would expect them to be, but like, again, new system for Jalen Milroe, a lot of young bucks on defense. We reserve the right to absolutely change our prediction on this game. However, right now, feels like I'm going to lean towards they have a bit of a hiccup, if you will. So I think they lose to Bama heading into the bye. They beat Kentucky. Kentucky's going to be physical. They'll be tough. Really good test now on a number of levels for Tennessee in this game, both physically and psychologically. Because psychologically, you either have a massive win after Bama or you're coming off of a loss and you got to kind of recollect yourself. Either way you slice it, you got to dial back in from a very emotional game against Alabama. Third Saturday in October. You're probably drained emotionally, if not even more so physically. Kentucky's going to be tough. They're going to be disciplined. You know what they are with Mark Stoops running that operation. I think you win that football game and pass a massive test. Mississippi State, not to knock Jeff Lebby, they win that football game. You go to Georgia, I think you lose this one. Georgia just has the personnel where they can win those one-on-ones that Tennessee really tries to create. We'll see what they are when we get here, but I do think you end up losing that game. You beat UTEP, you beat Vanderbilt. Hey, don't look now. Tennessee's 10-2. First year with Nico Iamaleava running the show, 10-2. I think if you offer that to any Tennessee fan, they take that tomorrow. I really do. 10-2 means you're probably competing for a college football playoff spot. We'll see where we put you tomorrow. It also means that Nico is for real. Like, all the hype, all the pressure, all the anticipation of what he was going to be the number one recruit in 2023 lives up to it. His first year as the guy. That says a lot about him physically. Y'all, I would argue that says more about him mentally. To be able to handle that pressure, to be mature enough to be able to hear all the good things said about you and still play your best football, still play good enough football to make you 10-2, we should not overlook that. You got question marks? Sure. We'll see what the offensive line is when it comes to depth. We'll see what the secondary is. I just think they're going to score a lot of points. I think they're going to be deep enough at the key positions on the defensive side of the ball to hold up there into the bargain. And I think this offense will look a lot like it did in 2022. This should reaffirm for a lot of Tennessee fans, if you had any concern, Josh Heupel's your guy. Because 2022 was a ride. 2023 was a little bit of a caffeine crash, if you will, because there was such high hopes. 2024 should reaffirm, like, hey, like, don't let that guy walk out of Knoxville. Whatever you do, I mean, you give him whatever he wants to keep him as the head coach for you out there in Knox Vegas. So Tennessee, we got him at 10-2. Let me know what you have them on my social media platforms at JD Pickell, Twitter and Instagram alike. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.